Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well today. So, I made a few points during my live streams, and I think I forgot to upload the post Bowthorpe video. But basically, I'm doing a video on Bonnie Blue now. This is someone who I've avoided making a video about because I didn't feel like it was the right time to do so. Between having to fight for our country, having to fight for an individual who we all know and love, who is fighting tooth and nail against the oligarchy right now, who has done more to expose the grape gangs than any other career politician or mainstream media outlet has ever done. And, of course, more importantly, is going to be down on the 13th of September, ready to give us a free speech union like no other. But I digress. This Bonnie Blue character, I've been very reluctant to speak about her because just thinking about her name alone makes me want to puke, quite frankly. It's not like some of these other career politicians who I just hate their guts because of the way they're treating the country. No, Bonnie Blue is a person who I think of her and I genuinely want to fucking throw up. But then I'd have to pay damages for the hole in the roof. Anyway, the fact is, this woman is completely and utterly repulsive, and she has, well, to say the least, she has a very descriptive backstory with her that would make even most adult industry workers blush. The amount of stuff that she's gotten herself into, or people into her stuff. I think you know what I mean. And I think the Liam Tufts interview actually said it better than I ever could, quite frankly. But she might have eyes, but behind the eyes, there's nothing there. She is literally what I would describe as the sleeve of the world. And I'm not talking about these kinds of sleeves either. I'm talking about the other kind of sleeve. What was one of the challenges she did again? Was it 1,000 men in 24 hours or something? Like, it's just hard for me to think about it, let alone actually say it, but the fact that this woman went out of her way to say, I am going to bed 1,000 men in 24 hours. I don't think that's even fucking possible. I'd be lucky if I was able to bed 10 women in 24 hours, let alone 1,000 men. Like, holy crap. This woman, well, no respect for her own body. Hell, I'd probably be exhausted after just the second woman, let alone 100 or whatever. Like, what drugs is she smoking? I swear to God. Like, I know I laugh about it, but then you start to see the darker side of it, I guess, more than anything. You start to think, she's literally willing to have every part of her body just used and potentially abused by hundreds of men from all walks of life. Hell, there was even one really disgusting remark she made as far as, I would rather have an arist come and ar me because at least then they wouldn't be doing it to another woman who wouldn't consent. I'm just thinking, what kind of fucked up thinking is that? You would want to have an arist R you because you don't want them to R anyone else. Like, do you hear yourself even speak, Bonnie Blue? Do you even sit back and process some of the shit that's coming out of your mouth? Do you even think about what you're saying? Because I think it's I don't want to say it, but it's almost as impulsive as when I sometimes say stuff. Sometimes I say stuff without thinking, but usually the context of it is, I don't usually think of something that morally reprehensible or disgusting. I'd like to think that if I'm going to think of something impulsively, I'm not going to be thinking about, oh, I'd rather have a woman violate me than anyone else. Like, dude! Like, think about what you're bloody saying, please. 1,000 men in 24 hours. Hell, when someone turned 18, her response was, they're just my type. Or that basically I would love to get with your 18-year-old and shag him. Like, God, I can feel I'm damaging my brain with just talking about this. I swear to God. I am damaging my brain, or my 2 brain cells, just thinking about this shit, let alone actually saying it. But there are a number of reasons why that would be considered very fucking creepy. First and foremost, it is only just bordering on the legal age, which she says there's no problem with that. Well, I think a lot of us would find it very fucking creepy if you're going after someone. Like, if it was a man going after a woman, it's really fucking creepy. And I should just say this how it is. It's also the same levels of creepiness when you're doing it when it's a female wanting an 18-year-old male, quite frankly. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female, or if the male's turned 18 or the female's turned 18. If you're dating one another as an older counterpart, like you're a 30-year-old man and you're dating an 18-year-old girl, or you're an 18-year-old man and some fucking 35-year-old woman wants to come out and have their way with you, like, I'm sorry, but that's going to register as very fucking creepy in my book, quite frankly. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. I mean, there ain't any amount of money you're fucking paying me for me to go and sleep with an 18-year-old or anyone younger than that, quite frankly, because that would just creep the shit out of me, to be honest. Who said the money would go to McDonald's anyway? Shut up, you. I'm not that bad. Jesus Christ, man. No, but I would not want to be paid just to bed an 18-year-old. I would want to have someone who, well, first and foremost, I would like them to at least be, I don't know, something like 21, 22, so that they're an actual adult, they can make decisions for themselves, and if they do want to be with me, it's of their own consent rather than, hey, I got money. Like, I don't want that shit. But Bonnie Blue's sitting here, basically, as England's... what's a good term I should use? Because I can't use the P word, because obviously that's going to get me demonetized. Stroke number 1. Demonetized if I use the P word. Oh, God. I can't even talk about S without having a stroke. This is how bad it is, dude. But in all seriousness, she was what I would call a woman of the night. To be honest, she does it in the day as well, so maybe that isn't a good term. Anyway, she is a woman who is of certain desires, shall we say. Certain lustral desires, which I think a lot of men, well, most men, when it comes to a woman that wants to have that, they're more than happy. But when it comes down to Bonnie Blue, I would just think, no, you know what? You fucking stay away from me, woman. You fucking stay right over there and don't come anywhere near me. Like, I can only feel for the poor sods who actually ended up laying with this tart, bluntly speaking. That's honestly my thoughts. Who would want to lay with a tart like this who is willing to spread themselves faster than butter on bread? Like, come on. I think a lot of these men probably are going to want to cover their faces because they don't want to be fucking associated with a woman that literally wants to sleep with more men than most people have had hot dinners. I think at this point, you might as well just forget you've even had the one night stand or whatever you want to call it. I can't stop laughing, I swear to God. But I certainly wouldn't want to be anywhere near this woman. I wouldn't want to be caught with this woman in a dark alley. I'd rather have a fucking thief than her, quite frankly. At least the thief's only going to steal your money or your phone, whereas she's going to steal your innocence and leave you scarred for it. The sad truth is, I can already imagine somebody sitting in one of those psychiatric rooms, laying on the couch, having to speak to a shrink, saying, it was awful. She came up to me one night and we did the dirty deed. It was terrible. It's just I'm having too much. I'm having too much fun with this shit. This is supposed to be a serious fucking video, but I can't stop laughing. Like, it is... Oh my god. Like, I can't even speak. But I have to get serious at some point. And there is one thing that immediately strikes out at me as particularly infuriating. You think of this human sleeve, that is Bonnie Blue, and then you think of TR, Mr. Robinson, a man who has done far more for this country than Bonnie Blue could even dream of doing, or a lot of the oligarchy could hope to do. She's allowed a platform on mainstream media, while Mr. Robinson is not. Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make it make sense that we have a hero going out of his way, risking jail time, being persecuted by the state, being bankrupted by the state because they wanted to use laws for T's against him for speaking out against T's, and yet you have Bonnie Blue, who has slept with more men than I've had reasonable nights, and she is allowed a platform on Talk TV or Liam. Well, to be fair, Liam Tuff's interviews all sorts more than anything, so I guess I shouldn't really class Liam Tuff's in that. That would be unfair on him. But my point is, she's got a mainstream media platform that she sometimes goes on, whereas Mr. Robinson has been banned from mainstream media. Rupert Lowe has now been banned from mainstream media. But of course, the mainstream media won't tell you this. You know the drill, folks, because say it with me. It doesn't suit the narrative. It really does show where their priorities lie, doesn't it, folks? On the bed or in the gutter. Doesn't matter which one you choose. It all stinks of the same shit to me. But the way I see it, Bonnie Blue thinks that she's inspiring women. She's empowering women. No, Bonnie Blue, you're objectifying them. It's not a term I like using because I don't think we should objectify ourselves. But right now, Bonnie Blue, you're not empowering women. You're objectifying them as sleeves, quite frankly. You are making other women who, like any woman that looks up to you, Bonnie Blue, and thinks of you as a fucking role model, I would want to send them straight to the GP without hesitation, even if it's against their will, quite frankly. Because they need to get themselves seriously reevaluated if they're looking at you as a role model, Bonnie Blue. You're not a role model, except for what not to become. Like, I sure as shit would not want my role model to be a man or a woman who's going out there trying to lay with thousands of people in a single day. I wouldn't want my role model to be somebody who wants to objectify themselves as a literal human sleeve. Because that's what you are at this point, Bonnie Blue. People don't look at you and think of you as a strong, empowered woman. They think of you as a tool of pleasure, nothing more. They think of you as a tool to be used and discarded, much like a disposable razor. They'll use you for a bit of time, like I use my razors, my shavers, and I'm just go around and do my hair and what have you. What happens when my shaver has no further use to it? I chuck it in the bin. That's what you are right now, Bonnie Blue. You're a disposable tool. Almost on the same level as Keir the traitor Starmer. And that is saying something. The only difference is your disposability depends upon whether or not men have gotten their fill from you, quite frankly. Whereas Keir the traitor Starmer, he's been the biggest tool because he's literally been sabotaging our country. But I dread to think what you two would do if you ended up having a kid. Like, that shit, oh my god, that scares the shit out of me, just thinking about it. But you are not empowering women. I cannot state that enough. You are not empowering women. You are turning them into objects. You are turning them into sleeves. You are turning them into tools for men to use and potentially abuse. And I have a very big fucking problem with that. The bottom line is this. You are not impressing anyone with your antics, Bonnie Blue. You're just disgusting everyone. Almost like Narinda Kerr. Only at least I suppose with you, Bonnie Blue, you're not a complete racist bitch, unlike Narinda. The way I see it, you're not going to be remembered in history as a woman who empowered other women. You're going to be the woman who is remembered as being the literal sleeve of Western civilization. I am disgusted that I have to call you British or English or anything else. Like, if I was literally the father of England, I would disown you from our name, just like that, because you are not English. Not in the sense of having pride in yourself and having pride in your country. The only thing you want to do is use your body as a walking S-Ed class. That's what you are. And you have to remember, you will end up being discarded once your use has been fulfilled. I think women should be aiming higher. I think women should be doing better. And I say they shouldn't look up to you as a role model. Because if they look up to you as a role model, what standards do we have for the women in today's civilization?